After an abomination at the Rose Bowl, everybody dogpiles on Nico Iamaleava. We'll discuss if it's fair. Teoscar Hernandez is in desperate need of a reboot, and just like the Lakers, the Clippers have learned that European basketball is surprisingly dangerous. Good morning. I'm James. And this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the Faithful Angelenos Morning Report. So it is September 1st, 2025, and the rent is too damn high. If you like being in the know about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It lets you know when we drop an update. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. By all means, comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, quick look at the scoreboard. Dodgers 5, Arizona 4. The Dodger magic number has been trimmed to 24. Galaxy 2, Orlando City 1. It's the third place match in Leagues Cup. The Galaxy have obviously had a trash year, but this win qualifies them for CONCACAF Champions League next year, so there's something. Slime Diego 2, LAFC 1, and the Sparks edged Washington 81-78. Meanwhile, today the Sparks are playing again at Seattle at 7, and Bay FC is at Angel City FC at 6. What do you say we get to the news? You know, Little Orphan Annie, if you're a fan of musicals, and who among us isn't, Little Orphan Annie sang "The sun will come out tomorrow. No matter how bad your day is, bet your bottom dollar there'll be sun." Well, the scribes made sure there was no sun in Nico Iamaleava's life when he woke up Sunday. Damn, what a dog pile that was in the press. Piling on Nico Iamaleava is to men what slobbering over Taylor Swift's engagement ring is to women. When we talked about UCLA getting hammered by Utah in yesterday's clip, I avoid getting too deep on the dude for that very reason, because some of it's going to be fair and some of it isn't. Nobody is questioning, for example, how important the quarterback is on any football team. It's the king piece on the chessboard of the game. But the king needs other pieces there. And I'm not trying to be this apologist for the guy either. His departure from Tennessee looked extremely sketch. I mean, people in Tennessee, they may not have given their women the right to vote, but they damn sure had the right to be upset over that. Meanwhile, the haters in the press, not only did they crap all over Iamaleava, they looked at the Volunteers game on Saturday, the clips of former Appalachian State, former sort of Bruin, and current Volunteer quarterback Joey Aguilar just launching bombs, and they're like, maybe he was the better quarterback all along. So, with all of that hate, let's ask what is fair to say and what isn't. Well, the first thing that's fair to say is ain't no Heisman coming to UCLA. You know, that could have been a possibility had Iamaleava stayed in Tennessee. He did get the Volunteers to the college football playoff last year. I also think it's fair to say that Iamaleava is now stuck with this decision. No matter how bad it gets, you can't just play 1 year in Westwood and then all of a sudden say, hey, I'm Troy Aikman Jr., I'm going to bolt to the NFL. There were 11 scouts from the NFL at the Rose Bowl on Saturday. Did any one of them really leave impressed with anybody at UCLA? Of course not. And by the way, if Iamaleava leaves for a third school, his draft stock, hell, his portal stock will be trash. So this is a marriage of inconvenience at best. I also think it's fair to say Iamaleava's camp, his family and friends, damn sure overplayed the hand, regardless of how this season turns out. CBSSports.com, for example, reported that one of the reasons that his camp nudged the quarterback out of the door was this alleged fear that he wouldn't have a good supporting cast in Knoxville this year. My dude, Did you even buy a season preview mag at a Barnes & Noble? Do they have Athlon Sports season preview at your neighborhood liquor store? Nobody thought the supporting cast at UCLA was going to be anywhere near what they had over in Tennessee. It's also damn sure fair to crack on Deshaun Foster. I've been saying this for more than a year. Foster needed to buy himself time with the press, with the boosters, with the fans, so he could rebuild that program from the ashes. Nobody thought that this was going to be an overnight fix. But he still needed to buy time, because there are schools that will cycle through coaches after 2 or 3 seasons. And then, well, closing practices from the press just squashed all of that goodwill. The LA Times is on his case. The Daily News is on his case. The same way the national press has been all over Lincoln Riley. But the difference is Riley has resources that Foster, and by extension Iamaleava, does not have. Just before last season started, I noted that a red flag was with the Eric Bieniemy's offense because they were still practicing the screen pass with a week to go before kickoff. It was the easiest pass in football, and they still haven't mastered it. So is that why practices were closed? Were practices closed because that would shield us from seeing that even with an NFL prospect at quarterback, the Bruins offense sucks. So there's a lot of things that are fair to say. I also think it's fair to say that the Bruins took some risks that they shouldn't have. All of that pre-snap motion that you saw Saturday fooled nobody. Nobody was fooled. And furthermore, I get it. You have an elite quarterback. You want to throw the ball. But you have a defense with 9 new starters. Did you see the way UCLA's defense played? Utah ball carriers looked like they were slathered in more baby oil than a Diddy freak-off. So many tackles were slipped through. Until the defense knows how to tackle, you need to kill clock and run the ball. Because when Utah rolled to that early lead, it made Iamaleava a sitting duck back there. So this is my point. Some of this is fair, some of it isn't. Something else that's not fair, saying the Bruins are done. The LA Times, I mentioned how they're now on Foster's case. Quote, the Bruins don't appear to be any good, unquote. So saith the LA Times. That's not fair. Utah is a favorite in the Big 12. And UCLA did get better last year as the season went on. They won 4 of their last 6 games. And don't tell me that Tennessee is better off with Joey Aguilar than they would have been with Nico Iamaleava. Stop that. Who in the hell could have put more points on the board under center for UCLA on Saturday? So I'm getting at this bottom line. Everybody is piling on Nico Iamaleava, but he deserves some of the grief, but he damn sure doesn't deserve all of this hate. He does not. Much more of this hate, frankly, needs to go on Deshaun Foster. He is the guy who said, quote, winning will validate all of this change. Winning will absolve us for closing the practices. We will show you we were right. Well, Saturday night, you weren't. You were all talk, and you got your asses kicked. And that's the memo. Let me know what you think. Teoscar Hernandez was benched by the Dodgers Sunday, but just for Sunday. He's gone 3 for 27 with 11 strikeouts over the course of his last 8 games. Dave Roberts said the point was to give the guy a 2-day reboot. The Dodgers are off today. There were multiple media outlets that predicted this as the dawn of a massive grab your privates level shakeup in the Dodger outfield. Shakeup? Probably. Massive? Stop. Like, say Tommy Edman is ready to come back while the Dodgers are on the road. Yeah, it could lead to Andy Pages shifting to right, Hernandez to left. We believe that to be true because Edmund was seen working out in center field Sunday at the Ravine. Hyseong Kim also started in left in Oklahoma City on Sunday. So change? Yeah. Massive? Like you're going to go into AFib? No. Alex Vesia is apparently going on a brief rehab assignment. He could return to the Dodgers during the next homestand. And speaking of Dodger pitching, if you were floating rose petals in a stream, hoping upon hope that your deepest inner passion to see Walker Buehler back in Dodger blue would come true, not happening. He signed with the Phillies. I love international soccer. It's a great reason to get drunk. And it doesn't matter if you're a Trump supporter or a Bernie bro. You get totally wasted and we all hug it out, and we all embrace our inner Lee Greenwood. But that's soccer culture. I'm not so sure international flavor is good for basketball. We recently discussed how the Lakers' Luka Doncic got his knee dinged up in preparation for something called Eurobasket. Now, in Eurobasket, Serbian captain Bogdan Bogdanovic, who plays for the Clippers, tore a hamstring. So that's suboptimal. We don't know the extent of the injury. If it's grade 3, he could actually miss all of Clippers training camp. Either way, Bogdanovic is 33, and the Clippers are the oldest team in NBA history. If you're that old, extra basketball games, not a good idea. And then you also have to ask yourself, why are all these NBA players going to Europe and getting hammered? What is it about the Europeans? Are they taking out blood rivalries from World War II in the court or something? I mean, there you are, you're just some innocent Irishman driving the lane, and some Frenchie with an axe to grind screams, "Your forefathers participated in a genocide," and then he snaps your legs. Is that what happens? I have a couple of notes about USC football. It won't be as lengthy or dramatic as what we said about UCLA. First, if you were one of the Trojans fans saying that the program needs to reestablish ties with Southern California recruiting, there were 20 from the region on the depth chart in Saturday's opener. And in reading reviews on the Trojans, the LA Times' Dylan Hernandez is really starting to strike me as an alarmist. Headline from his USC column Sunday, quote, "How does beating up a second-rate team help Lincoln Riley make a USC a contender again?" Unquote. And by the way, normally scribes don't create their own headlines, they suggest one. Either way, the copy that he wrote supported the headline, so I feel completely justified in replying this way. 1. Nobody said USC is a contender now. Nobody. And then 2, by the way, did you say USC is a contender? I didn't. 2, you do realize that many programs across the nation schedule, as you wrote, anonymous visitors from Palookaville? You think USC had the only cupcake on week 1? Second-ranked Penn State played Nevada. Ooh. Other schools you probably didn't even know existed played top 25 teams in week 1. Western Illinois. I had no idea there was such a thing as Long Island University. East Texas A&M. Arkansas Pine Bluff played a top 25 team. Montana State, Georgia State, Drunken State, they all played top 25 teams, guys. So, little too much. I realize you guys hate Lincoln Riley. It's a little bit much. Former Laker Jeremy Lin, an undrafted free agent who enchanted the press when he played for the Knicks, Anybody remember Linsanity back in the day? He's officially retired. Not that anybody actually noticed. He hasn't been on an NBA court in about 6 years. He didn't even really stand out when he played for the Lakers. By the time he got to LA, you could argue he was washed then. That was back in 2014. The first Taiwanese American in NBA history went from this media sensation to a dude who averaged just 11.2 points per game in LA. Now, still give the dude credit for a lengthy career. He earned a ring in Toronto back in 2019. But the hype didn't match up to the entire career, my dude. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. What did you think about Nico Iamaleava's debut? And is the criticism warranted, or is it a little bit much? For that matter, do you anticipate this shocking rebuild of the Dodger outfield starting on Tuesday? And if you enjoyed this update, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James, and we'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Cortel Queso production. Take care.